Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 2 of the DET 158 Flying Bulls podcast. Yes, do not adjust your screens. It is not just me today. We have somebody else's voice. It's going to be a little better, I think, for all you podcast enthusiasts, not just my annoying self. We have Cadet Powers. I'll introduce him in a second. But again, thank you for everyone tuning back in. If this is your second week listening, if this is your first time, thank you for checking it out. I think we had 60 or 70 people listen last week. So again, we appreciate everyone coming around and checking it out. So without further ado, Cadet Jackson Powers. Jack, go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're about.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, Ian, Cadet Keel. I'm Cadet Jackson Powers. I'm from Plant City, Florida. Right now I'm the Deputy Ops Group Commander. So what that kind of entails is those lengthy emails that you get from your Operations Group Commander with those little colorful operational orders. That's me. I usually am the one creating those. I'm checking a lot of the lesson plans that your squadron commanders are sending up. Basically trying to be the administrative work so that Cadet McLean can focus on kind of the big picture ideas of operations. I can take away a lot of the clutter that's there. I'm a third-year student, so I'm an AS 300. My major is business management, and that is my desired AFSC is to be a pilot.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Jack, you and I both kind of have the same goals. To what we want to do in the Air Force, right? We both want to fly, and I think we'll talk a little bit about that later. Both of us basically finishing up our rated packages and getting those sent out here in a couple of weeks. But first of all, I kind of want to talk about Lime Cup. I know it's something I touched on last week. I know you and I didn't really get to participate when we were 100s. I don't think they really let 100s on the team back then.
Yeah.
But I touched on the fact that last year it was all online, and this year they're doing some in-person stuff. Quick email was sent out by Cadet McCloskey. If you guys didn't see that, it was either yesterday or 2 days ago or something. I know Cadet Whitsett's driving the duty van. I read that. That's gonna be comedy. Cadet Whitsett's awesome. We love him. He'll be driving the duty van. The duty van. I gotta listen. When we were 100s, we went on a 4-mile run. I don't know if anyone remembers who. It was Cadet Peoples back then. I don't know if he's a first lieutenant or a second lieutenant still, but you remember? Do you remember Peoples?
Oh no, absolutely, yeah, no. He would always sing that one Jody, the Little Bunny Foo Foo Jofi.
That's where I got it from him.
Every single run we went on, and we went on a lot of campus runs.
No,
yeah,
dude, we went on this run. I don't remember. I think it was. I think we did it last year for the 200s. It was like. We went from the CWY and we ran all the way around to the other side of campus by JP or whatever it's called, the big tall parking garage. And we went all the way to the top and all the way back down. And the duty van was full. There were 20 people in the duty van. And you would see it. You'd look back and you just see it cruising. And you're like, dude, I'm not going to end up in the duty van. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah, no, you didn't want to end up in the duty van, but you did want that job as a POC because that seemed like.
Oh yeah, you saw the drive-ins. Whoever
yeah.
They got picked to drive it. Oh
yeah, I think it was now Lieutenant Jarkarian was driving it, and I was begging to be able to ride in that thing.
Dude, shouts out to the duty
drive
van.
It more, not ride it. I know, yeah.
God.
The duty van's awesome. I'm sure that ride over to the Lime Cup's gonna be one.
That's gonna be comedy.
He's gonna get to do it.
That's gonna
absolutely.
Be comedy. But anyway, yeah. So that's cool. Check it out. 11 days from the day of recording this podcast. So if you see this today, tomorrow will be 10 days. I will not be going. I have an event in Tampa, Valorant Land. Shouts out all my Valorant fans. But we have a tournament that day, so I won't be going. But go, make sure you show up, especially the 100s. I know we have I think 1 or 2 100s playing on the football team. I don't know about the rest of the teams. I know our soccer team is cracked. Our soccer team is insane. Yeah. I tried out. I got smoked. Really I told him last week on the podcast I got smoked. But so yeah, make sure you guys check it out. Let's switch gears. AFA. Did you go to AFA? You went to AFA with us, right?
Oh, absolutely. AFA was kind of my greatest. I like to call it my magnum opus. I was able to collect so much useless crap at AFA that I came back with an entire one of those reusable shopping bags filled with.
Oh yeah, I still have that.
No, I do too. Oh yeah, it's the Lockheed Martin one. It's it's filled with as many squeezable little stress balls that you could find anywhere. So.
Dude, what what was everyone wanted? They wanted like I got like a Pratt and Whitney. I got a Pratt and Whitney like sticker. There was something that everybody wanted. Like you'll show up and everyone would walk around to all the little like booths, and they'll just be like, "Oh my God, look what I got!" And they're like, "Dude, where'd you get that?" And they all just go try and find it. And I also on my keychain, I don't think I have it around here, but I used to have like a ejection seat handle from the guys at Martin Baker. You have that?
Yeah, I have that one. I do have that one. It's sitting in probably my tchotchke drawer that I have in my room.
Mine broke.
I remember I got a. Oh, yours broke.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you've been getting in too much trouble. That's the problem.
I've been trying to
pull that ejection handle.
Dude, I've been turning my car on too many times. But AFA sick. I remember last time we listened to General Goldfein. I mentioned that. And then this year, while we're there, Charles Q. Brown will be speaking, which is sick. I mean, we're gonna be there and listen to that. And there's no. I just learned this. There's no limit on people that can go. I think last time there was a limit. But we had a limit.
It was like a quick sign up. I remember.
Yeah. So, but this time I don't think there's a limit. So, and a lot of people are. I think there's an option to drive yourself. So, make sure you guys sign up, especially the 100s. If anybody listens to this, like it's a sick opportunity. It's really fun. Like we had a great time, and you get to meet a lot of cool people. It's just 4 stars, 3 stars walking around everywhere. It's insane.
And the last time I got to try on an F-35 helmet. Did you ever get to do that?
Yeah, I did it, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like projections onto your eyes. It's something you don't really get to try anywhere else. But it's super cool opportunity that we get specifically because we're in Florida and in Tampa.
Yeah, I know. And there's a couple other DETs that go. I think UCF, and then I remember seeing Embry-Riddle. Embry-Riddle was there. I don't know of any other DETs that go, but. It's a cool opportunity. There's officers enlisted. Everybody's there. But we won't touch on that too much. Just because I talked about it last week, so I think it's a good amount on that. Crosstown, being a Crosstown student, I know you wanted to talk about this, chat about it a little bit. I think that's something that is not really discussed too much. I think the stigma is that a lot of people just go to USF, and like that's kind of it's not a requirement, obviously, but I think that's kind of a little thing that nobody talks about. But we actually have so many crosstown like colleges that we have access to, like UT, Polk State, St. Leo, SCU. What am I missing? Any other ones? I know some. I don't remember his name, but there was somebody that went to like St. Pete College. Was it St. Pete College? Like when we were 100.
There's like a community college in St. Pete that I can't remember if it's St. Pete College or it's something of that nature, and you would have to drive a good distance every Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh yeah. No, I know St. Leo's 45 minutes away or something like that, and then SCU is in Lakeland, and that's like 45 minutes as well. So it's kind of a long drive. I used to live. I mean, I'm from Plant City too, like you. So I used to drive from Plant City, and that was like.
Yeah. No.
That's you still make that drive, which. Hey, I don't know how you do that. I got the apartment, I got the apartment like most of us, but you're grinding it out at home. I respect it, but I couldn't make that drive anymore. That 4:30 drive or that oh god, I couldn't do that anymore. And then the PT test day, you got to wake up tomorrow. We got the PFA or the FA, whatever you want to call it, and then we drive to UT. So you've got a 40-minute drive, no traffic. So you're gonna be out of the house at 4:20. 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be an early morning for me tomorrow. So not super looking forward to it, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Oh jeez. Yeah, but talking about Crosstown Students, it's it's one of those things I think we should dive into a little bit. I don't think both of us go to USF, but I live with Cadet Rust, and Cadet Rust goes to Polk State, and then I've known a bunch of people. Cadet Whitsett is UT. I mean, I could go down the list of people that go to different universities, but yeah, I think it's just one of those things where there's some options for you to get help if you need help with UT or with Crosstown stuff. I'm sorry, like if you need a ride to an event. I know there's a ton of people that probably a better way to phrase it, I think, is there's more people that go to your school from our detachment than you probably think. Is that probably a better way to? Yeah, exactly, right. So
no, yeah, absolutely. I think especially when we go to UTPT, we can see that people, it's like their day that they get up and slowly walk downstairs, and it's like a group of 20 of them are just walking out, and it's kind of surprising. Like I didn't think there was that many kids at UT, but
they have a 2-minute walk over the track.
Oh yeah.
And then
most definitely,
I can confirm for all the people that were like me and thought that the USF track was not closed and they just hated us. It is in fact closed, and they were doing work on it the other day because I went to run like a week ago to get ready for the FA, and it was closed, and there was a bunch of dudes in like high vis jackets painting. I don't know what they were painting, probably putting graffiti on there, but
Yeah.
anyway, so it is definitely closed, so they're not just lying. But yeah, I remember, I hate to bring up Cadet Whitsett again. I feel like this is all about him, but he walked over and he's like, yeah, nice. I rolled out of bed like 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, yeah, must be nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, that's their one day that they can hold over us.
Yeah, exactly. No, but, being at Crosstown, it can be difficult, especially with how much we have going on in the wing. But, I urge all of you, if you're a 100, 200, POC even, like if you need a ride to if you need a ride to an event, reach out to us. I know we'll do whatever we can to help you guys out. I know even Cadre will do what they can, right, to help you out, if they can, obviously. But so just think about that, and it is difficult. It is probably more difficult than being a USF student, but we're all in this together, and we're all here for the same reason. So, ORI, open ranks inspection. We have that tomorrow. Get to break out the blues for the second time. Regardless of our opinion on wearing blues, I think it's the best uniform ever. That's Cap. Obviously OCPs are better, but 200s, unfortunately, you guys have to do this at field training. We did not. I send a prayer up for that one.
Yeah, that was like when we got the field training manual for the FTP for this upcoming summer. That was the first thing I went to go look and check their bag list to see if they had to carry blues with them, and I don't envy their position that they're in right now. I wish I could say that I have any experience in that, but I don't. And most people at the DET don't have them.
Unlucky. Yeah, no, I remember, what was it, our freshman year, you had to be in color guard to get blues. And now they've the new cadre have pushed blues very early on for 200s, and I saw some 100s wearing them. So they're pushing it on 100s that are in color guard or AS, and then 200s are all getting blues, obviously. But open range inspection, it's one of those things that it's very procedural. Obviously, it's you want your uniform to look good, and you want to answer the warrior knowledge, but I think it's slept on, like the fact that you need to have you got to have good procedures. Like if you're flight commander, you got to know what you're doing to get the flight sized and ready for inspection. And we're not going to go through all the procedures today because that would take way too long, and I think your staff have already put something together for you guys. And 200s, you should know how to do it already. But yeah, no, ORI, it's coming up tomorrow. You remember your first time wearing blues? That was probably a long time ago for us. Did you have them 100 year, or did you get them 200 year?
No, so I remember 100 year you had to have a passing FA, and I didn't have a passing FA for my initial time, and so, but I got him probably midway through our fall FTP semester, and first time I tried them on, I remember having the AFI open next to me, and I just remember just freaking out because everything didn't fit the right way.
Break the ruler out and get the ruler going.
Oh, you had to break the ruler out. You had to break the little piece of cardboard that goes behind your name tape out. You had to do it all. It was an ordeal to do it the first time. It gets easier the more you do it, but big thing is just making sure everything's there. I've seen cadets come in as FTP and they would come in without a V-neck white shirt, and you get the dreaded scissor talk from your flight commander, and that's not a fun conversation.
Listen, I'm not ashamed to say this, okay? I still wear the same white shirt that I used freshman year, and I cut a V in it because it was not a V-neck, and I'm not afraid to share that. It's not a joke. It's real. Like, if you just cut a V in it, if you don't have a regular V-neck shirt, just cut a V in it. It's not that bad.
Absolutely.
You can't even tell the difference, so it doesn't even matter.
You can't, yeah. I had to do that to a couple cadets last semester when I was a flight commander. It was it's a fun experience. It's kind of like a rite of passage. It's like make sure you're checking over your stuff. But I still got mine. It's all mangled from I think Cadet Bags ended up cutting it, so it's all mangled from him. So
shouts out Cadet Bags.
Pretty fun little souvenir. Yeah, pretty fun souvenir. I like bags, so
we all like bags.
Love them.
Speaking of the FA, do you remember? I think we've told this story. I told the story in my flight, I think, but our freshman year FA, not the PFA, the FA, it was like 30. It was like, I think it was like high 30s, low 40s when we took the
Oh,
FA.
yes, I know
Dude.
exactly which FA you're talking about. That was one of the worst experience because I remember Cadre came out and they, you want to keep your jacket on because it's
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
They're
They
like,
told
"Bro,
you to
you gotta
take.
take you
Mm-hmm.
gotta take your jacket off for the push-ups and sit-ups." And I remember shivering because I was probably second or third wave in the IMT, and I was shivering to take this PT test.
Yeah.
That was probably my least favorite PT test we've taken.
I think that
Oh,
was my first like being exposed to like an FA, like an actual FA. Like I failed,
mm,
so I failed the first PFA when I was a freshman. They sent both of us off to Monday PT.
yeah, oh,
Um,
most definitely.
they sent us off to Monday PT for the semester, and then we come back FA ready to rock, and it's freezing cold. I mean, like bad. Like you guys think it was cold. It was a little chilly when when FTP took theirs this semester, but it was freezing when we took that one. And
Yeah.
thankfully tomorrow when we take ours, it's gonna be like 70 degrees, 60 degrees. But
Don't worry, I was checking the weather 15,
oh,
20 minutes ago before we got on. I was
dude,
having to make sure.
no, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice.
That's what I'm hoping.
All right, career day. Career day. That's not this lead lab obviously, but next lead lab will
Mhm.
be career day. I know you've been working on the op boards for that. What's the lineup looking like? Do you have any idea what the lineup's looking like over there?
I can't speak on
He
that.
can't
I don't want
disclose
to.
it.
I can't. I could tell you, but I'd have to shoot you. That's classified.
Hey, we all got our
Career day is
top.
gonna
We
be
got our top
fun.
secret clearances. It's all good. We got
We
our top
do,
secret
yeah.
clearances. Not
No
yet.
worries.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. They're in the works. We'll see how long this take. But I'd say, career day is a fun time. If you're an IMT, this is like IMT FTP. This is a great time to be able to understand different career fields because the Air Force offers a lot of different stuff. I mean, even for officers, there's just random jobs that you just didn't even think that the Air Force would hold. You think about it. On bases are mini towns. They have bowling alleys. People have to run
Yeah.
those bowling alleys. Well, that's an officer that's ending up coordinating all that kind of stuff. Like that's a job, and they. So it's a great opportunity to network with people they're in your desired career field, and also to be able to kind of figure out what you want to do. And for us POC, I know we got our Form 53s coming up, where we're gonna have to disclose what kind of jobs we're looking to get with sort of AFSCs. It's a great opportunity to do that as well. And for our 400s, I think it'll be a really good time for them to be able to, especially network in their career field that they already know they're gonna have. So I think career day is probably one of the most fun days, but it's definitely going to be super helpful for a lot of us this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. You hit it on the head. I think one of the big things also is like, 100s and 200s, make sure you bring those questions like, and POC as well, obviously. But we kind of know what we want to ask. I think it's for a lot of the newer cadets, they don't really know what they want to do in the Air Force. I think there's a huge, not a stigma, but an opinion where it's like, if you're not a pilot, what are you doing in the Air Force? But there's just there's so much more that goes on in the Air Force than just flying. That's the tip of the iceberg. Everything else leads to the flying part of the Air Force. Without these other jobs, you just wouldn't have the flying. But yeah, just come with questions, and also, you learn about our cadre. I know Colonel Montgomery sat with the pilot panel last semester. Major De Jesus sat with the ORI. Or not ORI, OSI, OSI officer. He looked like James Bond. That guy looks sick.
No,
Shouts out Brazzini. Shouts out Brazzini. You better be looking like that when you're in OSI. That's sick. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's gonna have to give him the Joseph A. Banks special. Put
Dude,
him in there, get him a.
It was unreal. This guy showed up looking like $1 million. I was like, dude, there's no shot you're in the Air Force. That's crazy.
Yeah, catching some salutes from some cadets too. That's the best part.
Whoa.
Yeah, got it.
But no, it's a good time, and you get to learn about. I think Captain Maynard talked a little bit about his career for a little bit. But you learn a lot about the cadre. You learn a lot about officers. So yeah, just come with an open mind. Be ready to learn about something you didn't think that you wanted to do, but then you hear about it and you're like, oh my god, that actually sounds pretty dope. Like listen, the JAG officers will come in, and I'm not afraid to share this story. Okay. The JAG officer comes in and he's talking to us, and it's on one of those virtual things, right? Like the virtual rooms that we're gonna have. Like they call in through Teams, I should say. And I went up to the computer because I wanted to ask a question, and I was like, I thought in my head, I'm like, if I'm not a pilot, like that's what I want to do. But if I don't get that, I need, what else do I want to do? And have you ever seen the movie A Few Good Men?
Oh, brother. I was just thinking. I was trying to figure
Attaboy.
out the title of the movie. I love A Few Good Men.
Well, the guy. Okay. Well, there's two stories about Jag, but I won't talk about the other one. I got a free shirt from him one time. Anyway, so like A Few Good Men is awesome, and I think the law is awesome. Even though I'm not a criminology major or anything, I was like, dude, you know what? Let me go ask the guy what you need to do to be a JAG officer. And I'm like, and I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, sir, what do I need to do to be a JAG officer? Like what, like education criteria? First thing that comes out of his mouth. Yeah, so obviously you need to go to law school. And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, so I was checked out. I mentally checked out on that one. I was like, yeah, so I'm just not going to be a JAG.
No,
Um,
most definitely. Jag sounds cool in theory, but then I realized I got to go to school for 8 more years. And God bless the people that are willing to be Jags. You know, we need them in the Air Force, but
eek,
that's just a job I can't operate in.
not for me, not for me.
No.
But yeah, that's one of my funny stories about ORI. I know we've had God, I keep saying ORI. Career day. I know we've had a lot of good career days, and I'm sure this one will be just as good. But let's move on to our last topic of the day. We've got flight hours in the rated board. And obviously we just found out it meets 3 March or 4 March is the last day to submit. Pick some stuff. And I guess that's all right. Let me backtrack. So for everyone to be rated, I touched on it last week what the difference was between non-rated and rated jobs. But obviously pilot is encompassed within that rated section, and obviously I think it goes without saying it's probably the most sought after job in the Air Force, is being a pilot. And I think that there's kind of some confusion for a lot of people as to how to become an Air Force pilot. And I think if you want to go and touch on just what that process looks like after the OQT, obviously everyone knows the OQT, like I mentioned last week, it's like an SAT for the Air Force. But if you want to touch on what happens after that and like some of the additional things that we have to do, moving on from that to get a pilot slot.
No, absolutely. So, your first thing is you got to pass your OQT and you got to pass field training. Those are your two big things. Without doing that, you're not going to get an enrollment allocation or an EA. And once that happens, then you're going to start thinking about other testing and flight hours. So if you're really serious about being a pilot, I would recommend trying to get up in the air, doing a discovery flight, and maybe picking up some virtual hours. And I'd say talk to your AS instructor. They have the list of accepted levels of virtual flight hours that you can receive. Those are going to help you a lot on what's called a PICSM score, or a pilot candidate selection method score. That encompasses a couple of different things. It's your OQT, and mainly your OQT and your TBAS, which is your test of basic aeronautical skills. So your TBAS is a test that you're going to take in your 300 year, and I recommend taking it as early as possible. I know we have a couple cadets right now, and I'm not pointing fingers or anything, but some people that may live with the other person on this podcast right now are waiting a little long to take their TBAS and cutting it a bit close. But your TBAS is going to be a test that is, obviously going to test some of your, flying abilities. We don't want to touch on it too much. There's a lot of different rules that are applied with talking about the TBAS before someone takes it. And I definitely don't want to be caught up in a
The UCMJ is coming
after.
The UCMJ is coming right after you.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'd like to be a lieutenant one day, so I'll keep my mouth shut. But I'd say talk to your AS instructor. They'll probably have a lot better information for you. But once you take your TBAS, you'll get you'll get your PICSM score, and that'll be that culmination between the two, your pilot section and your TBAS score. And you'll never see your TBAS score because just the PICSM website just gives you just the PICSM. It doesn't tell you that how you did on your TBAS.
Yeah.
So once you get your PICSM, you can start submitting flight hours, and flight hours are pretty easy to submit. There's a memorandum online that you'll get from the PICSM office, and flight hours will help increase your PICSM score because it's treated as an experience of flying. They say that you're more apt to pass UPT or undergraduate pilot training if you have more flight hours. But once that's said and done, for us, I know March 3rd is the last day for us to submit flight hours or make a change on your TBAS by retaking it. Once that's done, it goes up to the rated board. It'll be through your Wings account, and from there, it's out of your hands. It's in Air Force's hands at that point. So make sure that you keep doing your best until we put up your rated package, and then don't worry, know that be be strong in the fact that you did your best, and that if it's not good enough, then you can try again harder when you get on active duty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you kind of summed everything up right there. Moral of the story for, everyone that's coming up through ROTC and wants to be a pilot, never stop striving to be as good as you can, because you never know if you can be a pilot or not, right? It's not like, yes, there's a formula, but there's so many things that go into it that even if you have no interest in flying, you could have a really good pick-some score, right? You could do really good on the OQT and do really good on the TBAS and have no flight hours and still still have a competitive pick-some score. So, you and I were lucky enough to have flight hours to go behind our OQT and our TBAS score, but if you don't have that, you can still become a pilot. It's not the end of the line. And I know Colonel Montgomery, his first job in the Air Force he wasn't even a rated officer. He did not get a pilot slot. But later on, he got picked up by a active duty rated board. So again, it's not the end of the line for people that don't get a pilot slot or don't want to get a pilot slot first, right off the bat. But there's that opportunity down the line. I just want to touch on that today because you and I are both fresh in that process right now. I know there's a couple of us in the 300 class that are having to deal with that. So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to touch on. But I think we'll call it there. I don't have the time, but I think we've been going for 15 or 20 minutes. So I think that's longer than most people's, especially my attention span. So if you're still here, if you haven't clicked off, thanks so much for watching and listening this week. We added face cams. We upped the technology this week. Shouts out Cadet Russ. Came in here, absolute Tiger Woods of technology. Just called it earlier. He's an absolute legend for it. Thank you everyone for listening. Check out our socials: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's TikTok's TikTok. But yeah, if you guys have any feedback. Oh, also I forgot to mention we're gonna start a new section every week. Q&A, questions and answers. We couldn't incorporate it this week. I just got the idea from Cadet Liot. Thank you, Cadet Liot, if you listen. She gave me a great idea to do a Q&A for the guests. So next week I'm going to announce who the guests will be, and I'm going to put a post up on the Instagram or a story where you can submit questions or submit them to my email, det158pa. Anyway, Jack, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks so much for the information. You're a class lad. And everyone, if you want to get in touch with him, what is the email for your email?
It's det158 ops group CD or something along the lines of that. I'd say probably your best bet is if you have AS class on Tuesday, I'm in the Wizzo pretty much.
He's a Wizzo dweller. He's a Wizzo dweller.
Yes, that's my second home, so I don't want to keep driving and wasting gas. So if you can do that, or you can contact me through some through telephone. I know you guys have the wing contact list, so there you go.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you same time next week. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.